going on, guys? PC here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you something that is probably the coolest thing you'll see all day. Now, if you're like me and you're completely insane and out of your mind, then you recently picked up one of these PlayStation VR headsets, and the first question that popped into your head is, how do I hook this sucker up to my Dreamcast? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can actually do that. No, I'm not kidding. You can play your Dreamcast games on a PlayStation VR headset. Now, let me explain a little bit further. Now, this is not going to somehow magically turn your Dreamcast games into virtual reality games. That's just not going to happen. But the PlayStation VR has something called Cinema Mode, which is essentially what you'll see if you're playing a normal PlayStation 4 game that is not VR, or you're at the PlayStation 4 menu or something along those lines, or you're playing a movie or something like that. Now, the cinema mode is basically just your own personal cinema. It's a big giant screen that's floating in space. And you can look around and tilt your head up, down, left, and right and look around the screen. And it's like a personal movie theater. Now, this is normally meant for the PlayStation 4, obviously, because it's meant to be able to play your normal PlayStation 4 non-VR games with the PlayStation 4 headset, or the VR headset. But you can actually use any device that has an HDMI output. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, the Dreamcast doesn't have an HDMI output. Well, if you're into the Dreamcast as much as I am, you know that you can take a VGA cable or a VGA box and convert that into HDMI using an up converter. Now, this is pretty simple to do. You just buy the VGA to HDMI up converter, and you plug your Dreamcast VGA box or VGA cable into it, and there you go. You have an HDMI output, which you can then plug into your PlayStation VR headset. Now, you plug this in as you normally would with the PlayStation 4. You plug everything into where it would normally go, except for where the PlayStation 4 would normally plug in. That is where you plug in the Dreamcast from the up converter. And once you do that, and you need to power on the PlayStation 4 as well, because the headset needs the camera and the USB cable that plugs from the breakout box from the PlayStation VR into the PlayStation 4. It needs that in order to control the head movement and all that. So you turn on your PlayStation 4, and then you have the Dreamcast turned on, and you can then see your Dreamcast on the VR headset in this cool virtual cinema. Except there are no kids screaming in the back seat behind you. But other than that, it's your own personal cinema. You can play your Dreamcast games sort of in virtual reality. I suppose you're in a virtual theater, so technically you're kind of playing Dreamcast games in virtual reality. But not really. But it's still really, really cool. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show you what it actually looks like through the headset, because the output from the headset actually just shows a normal picture. So it's basically just a pass-through. As you can see on the screen here, you can see the Dreamcast game outputting from the breakout box, the PlayStation VR breakout box, to the TV. And you can see I'm playing the game, and obviously I'm not lying, or else I'd be really, really good at playing Dreamcast games blind. But yeah, it's a really cool thing you can do with, I suppose, any console that you can get an HDMI output out of. You can do this with not modern consoles, you can do it with old school consoles. I assume you could probably do it with the NES if you could somehow get an HDMI signal out of it. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool. And it's something that's been documented with the modern consoles. People have made articles on how to hook up your Xbox One to a PlayStation VR, but I don't think anyone's actually attempted a retro console, and I think this is really cool, and it works great. It's just like playing in your own personal theater, which I think is pretty awesome. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I just thought that was really cool. It's not really turning your Dreamcast games into virtual reality games, like I said, but it's still a really cool thing to think that you can plug in this brand new shiny piece of hardware into your 17-year-old Dreamcast is pretty awesome. Actually 18 at this point, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, that old guy's getting on in age. But, yeah, I thought it was really cool, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. If you have a PlayStation VR and a Dreamcast and an up converter, give it a shot. It's actually pretty cool. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.